Is the state of Florida overdoing it with the standardized testing? Are the teachers teaching, or are they teaching just to pass the standardized test? How can they grade the schools on the students' performance on a test if not all students are the same? Is there a chance for a change in the future? These are questions that I ask myself when my mother, who is a teacher, is stressed with all these tests. In the state of Florida, teachers were teaching students to learn different subjects. Teachers will make up tests and on the subjects or lessons that were taught. Those tests will show how well the student comprehended. The first standardized administrative test in Florida started in 1970. Teachers were still teaching their own materials. By the 1990s, standardized test was called Florida Writing Assessment. They were first administered for the fourth grade class of 1992. The test was then expanded to the 8th and 10th graders in 1993 and 94. The test scores were used to grade the school performance. In 1998, the standardized test was changed to the FCAT Florida Comprehensive Assessment Test for reading 4th, 8th, and 10th grade, and math 5th, 8th, and 10th grade. By 1999, the grades from the FCAT along with other indicators were used to grade the schools from A to F. The passing of the reading and math became a requirement to graduate high school. For the first time, FCAT Science was introduced to elementary, middle, and high school students. Once again, in 2011, the standardized testing name was changed from FCAT to FCAT 2.0. The new standardized test became harder and more challenging. That same year, not only did students must pass the FCAT 2.0, but the EOC in algebra, adding history, civics, geometry, and biology from 2012 to 2014. A new standard for grading the schools and teachers added not only the FCAT but the EOCs. Since 2014, the FCAT 2.0 has transitioned to the Florida Standards Assessment, or FSA. With all the standardized testing, are teachers able to teach? Of Education, Arne Duggan, said in 2014 that too much standardized testing was sucking the oxygen out of the room and causing undue stress. Of Education, policymakers have dodged teachers' complaints for years. The National Education Association conducted a survey of teachers and found that 70% feel extreme pressure by both the school and district administration. That frustration is causing teachers to consider retiring or even changing careers. As a daughter of a teacher of 45 years, I have seen firsthand how stressful being a teacher has become. Seeing my mother with so much experience and love teaching to become bitter because of all the standardized testing. Not only can she not teach a certain way, she cannot give the exams the way she would like. She knows that all students learn the same way. For students to be successful in the standardized testing, teachers had to learn a new way of teaching them. To solve a math problem could take 5 minutes now. I've seen my children struggle with math because of the change. An example problem is 95 plus 12 equals 107. You could write it horizontally and add. Well, no. With the new math, you round up 90 plus 10 and then add 2 plus 7 equals. Sounds confusing? Well, it is. Why can't teachers be able to teach the way it worked for hundreds of years? These exams are not only jeopardizing good teachers' career, but since how the kids score on a test affect the overall grade of a teacher in school, it gives a huge amount of unnecessary pressure to the teachers. Since all the kids learn a different way, teachers cannot stop and teach differently because they have a schedule to follow before standardized testing period. So what happens with the not so cookie cutter kids? Well, they fall behind. Teachers are getting penalized to the student performance, including kids with disability. Most students with disability cannot perform at the same level as the kids without disability. Teachers should not get penalized for that. With all the testing standards that have been approved throughout the years, the state finally wants a change. Education recommends that the state have fewer testing. After the review and recommendation, Governor Scott made an executive order to eliminate the 11th grade Florida standard assessment. Since the 10th grade, it was being addressed for graduation. He also included eliminating local end-of-the-year exams that the subjects are being tested with the state mandate ELC. Finally, he said not to test for the sole purpose to test the teachers. Teachers have so much on their plate. They have merit raised, their evaluation, and their job is at stake for the student to pass these tests. Seeing my mother stress over the rigorous requirement has made me think that they are over-testing our children and overworking the teachers. Having two kids, one who is super smart and the other one has a disability, struggle during the exams weeks, makes me mad. All I see is that my kids are getting taught for them to pass the test. My oldest developed anxiety because of this issue. I'm glad that finally on a state level, someone is paying attention. I know it will be many more years to see changes, but it's a good. The state of Florida has been testing the students and putting more pressure on the teachers for years. In an investigation, Governor Scott agreed to start reducing the number of exams that the teachers are taking.